Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to do a workshop in watercolors, and since it's so close to Valentine's Day, I thought I'd do something representative of Valentine's, and this is a beginner project, so I'll be doing like a step-by-step process. So just take your time. I'll provide you with a list of supplies and a description of the paint colors we'll be using and how to mix paint colors and what brushes to use. So here we go. So the first thing we're going to do, this is the painting that we're going to do. I've done this watercolor painting already. So this is a photograph. Now the size of paper is a 5x7 watercolor sheet. This is a 90 pound, which would be fine. I have a package of cards that I've purchased that you can just fold and then tape it along. So we're going to tape it along here with the masking tape so that it'll leave a nice border all around. Okay, so I'll get that taped down. Now if you don't have these cards, that's fine. Just cut out a 5x7 sheet of watercolor paper, preferably 140 pounds. These cards come in 90 pound, but if you can get 140 pounds of arches, it's typically the best paper. So we'll just tape this down, kind of creating a border. There we go. And here's some other Valentine's cards that I just recently made, and I thought they're very fun to paint. And here's another one. Okay, so there's so many ideas on the internet that you can go along and just play around, even if it's your first time painting in watercolor. But today I'm going to give you the tutorial on this one image. So now that we've taped this down, we can transfer this image onto the paper. So this is a graphite paper, or just a tracing paper. So we would tape it down here towards the edge of the other paper, the watercolor paper. So let's just tape this, and then we'll tape this one over top, right at the edge, and over top the 5x7 watercolor paper. So now this will be our guideline. So it's nice to trace it out initially if you don't know how to draw. Once you learn how to draw, then you can just do it freehand. But since we don't have that much time either, we'll just go ahead and draw it out. And lift it up just to see if it's tracing. Oh yes, okay, it's working. So that's great. You don't have to press very hard on this. Such a beautiful day out there today. So nice when the sun is shining. Even if it's cold outside, we're here in lockdown and the sun is shining, and it's great. It's a great day. There's always so much to do in the house. So I'm not bothered by this. I'm staying home. And we can also draw the line going across this ruler. Which separates the water from the sky. So I would just put a light line here and here, and nothing in the center because that's where the sun is really shining through really strongly. So this will be a white. So the supplies we need are, okay, I've already talked about this, the ruler, the watercolor paper, the pencil. Now we have, we need a container of water. We need a, this is a flattened out toilet paper, and it's just to dab your paintbrush. If you have too much water, you just dab it down. Okay, and your different colors. So the colors today we'll be using is the indigo blue. So if you don't have indigo, which is the darkest blue, which is here, I've also written down all the colors on this sample. You can use black and ultramarine blue. Mix some black and blue to get your indigo. Then we have some purple in the sky. So purple is also made with red and blue. So if you just have primary colors, that's fine. We could try it just with the primary colors, just to show. This is experimental, so it doesn't have to be perfect exactly like this image. So let's start mixing our colors. So that's the first thing we want to do. So I'm going to take this medium paintbrush. This is an angle brush, but you could use a flat brush, which is like this one here, if you have a flat brush. But I wouldn't recommend a rounded brush right now. So we're going to take a little bit of, so I'll say, let's say we black and the ultramarine blue. That gets your darkest blue. And then we rinse. And then we dab. Okay, now we're going to get a bit of like this nice orange in the sky. So we'll take some red. Then we rinse. We dab. And we take some yellow to give you this nice orangey color. Okay, now we rinse. And to get the purple, we'll take the red and the blue. This is our purple. That's a little bit burgundy, so let's try that again. Start with the blue, and we add a little bit of red. So we rinse, dab, just a bit of red, and then we gradually add more. So that's more of a purple. So let's put a little more blue in there. There's more of our purple sky. Okay. So we're going to leave some white spaces too. It's very important to have white spaces in your watercolor painting. And in watercolor, you generally paint from light to dark. So we'll start with, and we'll take a bit of yellow and water it down. That'll be our light color. We have to make sure not to mix the blue and the yellow in the sky, because that'll make a green, so it looks unnatural. So first thing we want to do is remove the transfer paper and the photograph. If you need a picture of the photograph, I'll just be putting it on the video for you to trace out, print and trace out. Okay, so here we go. Now we're going to take some, this is going to be a wet on wet technique. So we'll start by wetting all of the sky completely. And actually you could go right over the hand. That's fine. See where the line is, where you put the difference between the sky and the ocean. Okay, so now let's see, we're going to leave some white parts. We're going to start with the yellows. Put a bit of yellow in here, and then rinse our brush and go in with the orange. Beautiful orange. Some more orange. And this dries very fast, so you have to work fairly quickly when you're doing a wet on wet. But it is fixable. They say watercolor is not forgiving, but it is forgiving. You can just do another glaze over top and start again. So don't feel intimidated. And also, it's only paper. You can just tear it up and use another paper. I find some of my students would get really frustrated and just want to redo the whole image without, you know, pushing through till they get a really nice painting. So you have to give it a chance. Okay, that's the water. That's with the blue, the darkest blue. And painting is done in layers. It's not just done one quick painting and then you're done. So now here we go with the purple up here. And there's a streak that goes across here. It doesn't have to be exactly as your image. So in here I'm going to put a little bit of darker blue on top. The sky is always darker at the top. And let's come in with some more of that purple. If you have purple, it's fine. You could use purple. But if you don't and you just have your basic colors, you could just mix the red and the blue. So I'm going to go in with this purple that I have. This purple is called Quinn Purple. And these are all Danielle Smith watercolor paints. But if you're just starting off, you could just begin with a tray that you buy. You can buy at Michael's. You could buy even at the dollar store. I don't know how that watercolor works out, but again, you start somewhere, right? So as you get better, you want to purchase better supplies. Okay, let's try just the bright. What if we go in? Wow, that's really bright. Okay, so if we find that's too bright, what we could just do is dab this out, because watercolor tends to dry 20% lighter than what you put on there. So I'll just dab that out a bit. Okay, there we go. And I find this line is too harsh, so we could just go over. There, that's working out. Okay, so now whatever reflects in the sky will also reflect in the water. So this will be the lightest part, because we're going to reflect the orange here, and the sun is here too. So we'll put some yellow here. And this is the darkest blue, which is the indigo. Which again, if you don't have indigo, you can mix the black and blue together to get a darkest blue. So you can go right across. And this you should make sure that the sky is dry before going on to do your ocean, your water. I'm guessing this is an ocean. Okay, and you can put streaks here. So it's darker on the sides because the reflection of the sun is in the center. So we'll put a few lines here. This is darker. And let's put some orange in there. Okay. There. And here's the trick to, if you want to make the rays from the sun here, these rays. So what you do is you're going to dry your brush, the tip of your brush completely, and we're just lifting out. So I'm going to wet the brush. I'm going to lift the paint out so it makes streaks like that. 1, 2. You get to see some of the most beautiful sunsets here in Northern Ontario. So we don't have to go travel really to far destinations to see beautiful sunset. Right here in our backyard, front yard. In my next tutorial, I'll be doing painting of the Northern Lights. I just love the Northern Lights, and that's on my bucket list. I really want to see that sometime in my lifetime. They say they used to have them here in Northern Ontario, but I haven't seen any yet. Let me know if you know anywhere I could look and go to Northern Ontario to see the Northern Lights. Or I don't know if you have to be awake fairly late at night to see them. Okay, so I find my paint is getting a little dry, so I'm gonna make another mix here. Add more of the brown. Oh, there. See the intensity? Much better that is. And this we don't want to have it transparent because it's a hand and it's a silhouette. So there's nothing that's going to go through this. We want it opaque. And we're just about done. Not that much more to this. If you like this video and more, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I have a website at carmenmartorella.mykajabi.com, and if you subscribe, sign up to my website, I provide a monthly newsletter and also a chance to win a free painting monthly, or calendar or mask or whatever I've decided to make. this month I'm giving away a calendar, an art calendar that I've created. So we can keep coloring this in. I'm going to take some of this and just add the darkness in the water. Okay. And I find that up here it's a little too harsh, the line. So again, I'm going to rinse my brush really well, dab it down, and just kind of smudge that to make the lines less rigid. And dab this. So now I'm going to show you how we could use the white acrylic also to make the sun rays too. So this is just use a little bit on your palette, because once it's on, it's not like watercolor. That's it. That's the only use that you have for that time that you put it down. Watercolor can last forever and ever, and that's another reason why it's a good medium to start with, because you're not putting much expense into it, and it lasts forever. So, okay, so here we go with the white. So, and these are the rays, so try to make them as straight as possible. Oh, I need a little bit of water here. Just a tiny bit. You don't need that much water. And go down. So this is my finest brush, very thin. So thicker on the top and lighter on the bottom. So kind of lift up your brush as you go. See, this one was too heavy, so I'm just going to remove it. See, they say that watercolor is not forgiving, but I'm just removing it just like that. Wet it down and pick up the excess paint. So let's try to take that, do that again. Start thick at the top and lighter. There. So all that's left to do there is to sign it. And you could sign it. I usually try to be discreet with my signature, so I'll just put it here. Just my initials. So thanks very much, and have a very happy Valentine's Day. And I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and please subscribe if you would like. And we'll see you on the next tutorial. So I'll just remove this. See how clean your edges, your outer edges are. And here's a card that you could share with someone and let them know you care, especially when it's made from the heart. Thank you. Goodbye.